According to the World Health Organization, there have been nearly 16,000 cases of Ebola in West Africa, and more than 5,500 have been fatal. The main areas affected are, you see it on the map, Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone, with 600 new cases in those countries in the past week alone. The WHO and officials there have also confirmed 6 deaths in Mali, but they say the outbreaks in Senegal and Nigeria are officially over. Well, earlier I spoke to Dr. David Heymann, a professor of infectious diseases from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. He was one of the co-discoverers of the Ebola virus. He told me how the vaccine has been developed.
What's happened is this vaccine has been studied in animals. It's been shown to be effective. And now it's being studied for safety in humans, but also looking to see whether it causes antibody, as does natural infection.
So what were the results in animals? Did it protect the animals from the virus?
It did protect animals, yes, and that's why it's moving into human studies now. But the first phase has to be safety studies. And then from then, you look and see whether antibody has been produced by the virus in the vaccine, and in this instance, it has been.
And of course, the question is always, how long will that take? Because time is so precious here.
That's right. This is an initial step in a long series of studies that will be done as soon as there's enough vaccine to do those studies. Studies could take a month or so or even longer, but at least it's a step in the right direction.
I mean, do you feel more confident today than just even a few weeks ago, do you think, in terms of being able to find a vaccine that works on humans?
Well, I think we have good indication that this vaccine might work in humans, and our hope is that it will. But it may not be in sufficient supply during this outbreak to be used. It may have to wait for the next outbreak.
Well, Dr. Piot, who was one of the doctors who alongside, you were in the same team working alongside him, discovered the Ebola virus all these decades ago. And one of the things he told me, but this was, to be fair, several months ago, that any vaccine might be too late for this outbreak. Do you agree?
Well, I hope it's too late. I hope the outbreak stops with great rapidity. You know, I hope that the steps that are being taken now will stop the outbreak. We know how to stop outbreaks. It's not rocket science. It takes rapid detection and isolation of patients. It takes tracing of contacts of people who have disease and following them up for fever. If they get a fever, they have to be diagnosed. If it's Ebola, they're isolated. And then helping communities understand how to protect themselves during funeral practices or when they're transporting patients.
And based on the figures we've seen from West Africa, are you more hopeful now that we might turn a corner soon?
Well, certainly there's some good news coming, at least from some of the countries, Liberia in particular. It seems that there may be a decrease in new cases. So hopefully what we're seeing is that there has been a turn around that corner, and in fact, Ebola virus outbreak 2014 is on the way out.
A quick question on the vaccine. Even if one is developed successfully in humans, how do we know that it will protect humans against a future Ebola outbreak? Does this virus change and mutate? Could it be just good for this one and not for the next?
Well, actually, there are 5 different Ebola viruses. This is a vaccine only to one of those viruses. So it's not known whether it will protect against the other viruses or not. This virus is the most widespread. It's the one that first occurred in Zaire back in 1976. But there are other viruses, and hopefully there will be cross-protection from this vaccine to all different viruses.
And then it's a question of scale, because it's not just about, as you know better than anyone, almost developing the vaccine, it's administering the vaccine as well.
That's right, and the vaccine would certainly be useful to give to health workers and to those people who transport dead bodies or patients. That would be a must. And also possibly in contacts in the household of patients, and hopefully eventually in communities where Ebola is occurring. But that depends on the supplies of the vaccine and how available it really is.
And now, lastly, you've been studying this for so long, your entire career, these infectious diseases, this one in particular. Did you ever think we would see this on this scale, on this level?
No, you know, we let the ball drop in March when it was first identified. If there had been a robust response back then, using the techniques that we know can stop outbreaks, we could have stopped this outbreak probably as we did 25 previous outbreaks.